My name's Edugie Clare Robertson, and I'm an affiliate artist with the UNESCO RELA project with Glasgow University. I'm a musician, a singer-songwriter, and I'm also work as a sound healer and energy healer, and that came laterally in my career. I started off in community development work down in England, and I'm first generation Scots African, and I grew up in relative cultural isolation. So I suppose that shaped my career. And as I've come further and further on, I've realized the importance of people being able to participate and being able to work in communities. One of the first projects that I did back when I came back to Scotland in 1994 was a project in Black Hill in Glasgow. The idea was to bring the stories of people, copy the stories, give them value, and collect that history and collect that unseen, what you call it, community story, if you like, and bring it together. So we collected the stories from the grandparents and we brought it together, photographing them, writing their stories, and brought it together in an album. The effect of that was that people felt really valued. They felt they'd been heard and they felt that they mattered. And when they came into the exhibition area, which was back then it was called North Glasgow College, and when they came into that exhibition area and saw the work and saw themselves on the wall, they were really surprised. They said, "Oh, do you know, and we didn't realize this is what you were doing." Their grandchildren could see that huge community album, which we were calling a family album, and they could see that story and hear those stories that had been missed. The things that, we don't always hand down, the bits, capturing people on Sauchiehall Street, or a first kiss, or a favourite place, or, but keeping that together. I was asked to create a stop for a bicycle ride, which UNESCO RELA were putting on, and each one had an African Adinkra symbol, and at each stop, and there was artists at each stop. And my particular piece was about despair and the Adinkra symbol that went with that, and my experience of growing up in isolation, cultural isolation. There were aspects where you wanted to hide. You wanted to hide. You didn't want to hide your vulnerability, hide the pain. So this song just came naturally to me to be able to write it. And it describes that whole thing about wanting to be seen but not wanting to be seen, wanting to be protected, wanting to hide from the difficulties, but also wanting your life to mean something. So that was Cover Me. And I sang that and a couple of other songs at the stop. And I felt a great connection to those migrants that were coming through on the bikes, and some of them walking. Another piece of work, it's more about the healing work, if you like, and the sound, was we did an experimental piece at the RAH. What I feel about my community work, it's transferred over into this wider area. And this area is really about creating that energetic, if you like, connection between mother and child in terms of helping to soothe the traumas or trauma that might be experienced during birth, or that was specifically working with neonatal babies and babies who had been through some sort of trauma, and of course the parents living in that situation where they didn't know if their baby was going to live. They're being visited in the hospital, child's in an incubator, not able to pick them up. And that sound work is really about that connection, that vibrational, non-verbal connection that the child first experiences in the womb. So I felt very privileged to do that work. I loved that work. I loved that helping create that ambience and that vibration, and inviting space for parents to connect with their children, but also just working with the children themselves in the incubators.